We're delighted to be joined by this week's guest, and we're very excited because we've been trying to get a guest of this caliber for some time. Not that our other guests are not of a high caliber, I'm not suggesting that for one moment. Am I, Finton? Back me up here.
You said it. Fuck. You keep digging, buddy. What do I mean? I love all our guests equally.
I'm gonna write a book. I'm not even going to use AI to write it, and it's going to be tips and tricks for podcasting. And the number one is going to be choose a co-host who's not going to throw you under the bus.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, we're delighted to be joined by a guest who is Anastasia Rimskaya, who is Chief Account Officer at Aviatrix. Now, Anastasia, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks for invite.
That's okay. That was the easy part, really. Now, this is where it starts to get difficult. So, for any listeners who might not be in the know, what do Aviatrix do? What's your bread and butter?
Okay, so I'll dive you in a little bit in what we are doing and who we are. So the product have been launched in 2023. We are on the market like around 3 years. And what is specific about us? So we launched one game, and we've been running with the one game for 3 years, and it got incredibly popular. So this is a crash game. I believe I might quickly explain what is a crash game mechanic. So
yes, please.
It's a, let's say, quick game or instant game, or very easy and understandable for even those who never played in a casino. Sometimes so called that those games can attract the players and move them from sports betting to real like slot games and etc. But what is the point of the game? The player plays a bet, then usually it's in our game, that's a plane, customizable plane. It can be your own plane, and then it's basically an NFT of yours that you create. You can choose the colors and etc. So you place a bet, then plane flies, and as soon as it's not collapsed and you manage to take the bet back, kind of to cash out, your bet got multiplied. So you have a control over that, but you never know when the plane gonna crash. That's the point. That's why those called crash games.
It does make sense.
Yeah, pretty easy and understandable.
So look, I've got a lot of questions. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's I suppose we'll get to the NFT bit in a second because I think that's super interesting. But if we look at the crash game was a real kind of crypto specific type product that kind of grew out of the crypto culture, the crypto trading culture and these kind of things. But now it's hitting the mainstream. So more and more mainstream regular operators are offering crash games. What was that conversation like? Because I'm sure right now they're ringing you, hey, we need a crash game. Mm-hmm. Can you integrate? But I'm sure there was a point where you had to talk to a mainstream operator, and explain crash. Like they've got 10,000 slot games on their website. What is this? This doesn't look like anything we have. Why? Like, what was that conversation like in the early days?
I would say it wasn't pioneering this section. So there were our competitor who already, I would say, introduced this type of a game to our market. And mm-hmm. Right now, I must say the crash game is already like a decent category in each single casino. I can't even think of a casino that have like 0 crash games right now and do not have it offered to their players, because it's just like already a must in your portfolio.
Okay, but was there? Okay, so it's a must-have. Everybody has it. So then I suppose kind of the follow-on questions, where I think you guys are fairly unique, is I can customize the airplane, and it's my airplane as an NFT.
Yeah.
In a world like, what does like that's pretty unique as well, I think, from a like particularly a traditional operator perspective of they can take something from the game and they can keep it and they can use it elsewhere. And like, how does that work?
Yeah, that was the general idea of that because you remember there was a big hype around
Sure.
NFTs and we were planning to have the collection. So right now we switched our focus a bit from that. So our Aviatrix goal is first of all to offer the AAA product to the market. So
Hmm.
the design is like very high quality. There is a gamification. So we borrowed some kind of a video game experience and implemented in the casino industry, implemented to iGaming. So talking about the planes, right now we're distributing the skins of the planes, so player can have a really unique skin. You can create your own skin, you can choose the different colors, then based on your experience level, you can
Hmm.
improve your plane from like very simple one to like skyrocketed one style. But anyways, those skins, it's a bit different thing that you can get as a promo code, you can get it in the social networks from your operator. So, and it makes you completely unique. And
Mm.
other players also can see you because in our game, so when you play on the background, you can see other players. So you can kind of show them who is the
Yeah,
boss and like
sure.
show how cool you are that you have this plane, you know, kind of a
It's a
this
status symbol, right?
social part. Yeah, status, exactly.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. That's and it is because I suppose it makes a lot of sense because obviously there's lots of crash games out there, but
Mhm.
this is something fairly unique. Okay, how do we differentiate ourselves in the market? And this feels like something that works. Do you guys have multi? So how deep does the multiplayer experience go? Is it I can see what other people are doing? Can I play with other people, or how does that
Uh,
work?
it's not that deep yet. So right now you can just see some players on the background.
Hmm.
You can see and kind of where you are on the leaderboard because each single player who creates their own plane in the game,
Hmm.
they can participate in our network tournament. Right now it's 4 million euro, by the way, and there is
Wow.
a like daily reward distribution. So they can see the plane, the player name in a leaderboard. And also, we are working on one feature which as well bring some kind of a video game experience. The feature will be called clans. So players can really get in a groups. They can share their experience point. They can share the skins between themselves and
Mm.
their clan. They can unlock rewards. So they can kind of do some different things like they play together, win together. So create kind of a community around that.
Sure.
But it's not
Which
live yet.
but that sounds great for like streamers, right? So if they're because like we
Yeah,
were talking to the guys from iBankroll and they were talking about the importance of streamers and being able to kind of bet behind your favorite streamer, and so this sounds perfect for that kind of, if I've got an audience like me and John, we create a clan, all our listeners join our clan, and then we play the game collaboratively, right?
yeah, exactly. Share the experience between yourselves or share the skins. For instance, you've been playing in a game a lot, so you
Yeah.
got some skins in, let's say, a loot box, also one of our features. I can tell a bit more about that.
Yeah, sure.
We implemented it just recently, so we have some kind of a milestones in a total bet that players should reach, and based on which milestone they achieved during
Hmm.
the 24 hours, they have a loot box. It's an automated feature, so they can get in the loot box the skin, some experience points, or they can get some free bets. So as it's automatic and there is kind of no exact control on exact skins that you might have. So there are variety of them. We are issuing them usually like once in a quarter, but it's not that many. So it can happen that the player will have the same skin, and he can have it like 2 times. For instance, he already had one, and then he have it again in a loot box. And exactly over here in a clans feature, he can share that one.
Got it. Got it. Okay, that's clever. And is it like your game? Is it tied to the operator? Like if I've got my skin, I can, or in my clan, can we be playing on different operators, or do we all have to be on the same kind of gambling website?
Right now, it's available only where you was registered, but in future, the original idea was that you will be able to get your plane and then enter another operator and let's say keep your experience, keep your skins, and keep your progress over there. But however, that's still on an idea.
Yeah,
stage, I would say.
I can see why that'd be difficult, but it shows then that there's a huge opportunity for operators to just be super streamer friendly, clan friendly, and letting this kind of social gambling take place in a nice way. What's it like dealing with regulators? So obviously you guys are regulated, licensed in a bunch of countries. When you sit down to a regulator and say, "Hey, we make crash games," do they freak out? Do they understand? Do they care? Like what happens?
I must say right now, more or less everyone is already familiar with this type of game, so there are not that much of a difficulties, but still sometimes there are requirements that we need to fulfill. Sometimes we need to let's say do some additions in a game so it comply fully with the regulators, but usually we do not have any big issues. So that's why we enter in regulated markets and keep adding more and more. For instance, we go in to enter the States market.
Wow.
Yeah. So been working on that for a while. It takes time, I must say. It takes time.
Yeah, that's because it's not just one license; it's many licenses.
Yeah.
I think what Fenton was slightly alluding to with his last question was that crash games have. I think just the name crash games comes with a bit of baggage. It comes with reputation. Reputation of maybe association with offshore operators, with black market operators, with grey market operators, with unregulated, etc., and you know, like you say, everybody's familiar with the game type now.
Yeah.
Because everybody's looked at it and gone, "Holy crap, that's really clever!" Because it's so simple, it's so clever. But do you think? Do you think? I don't know whether is it an issue for is reputation an issue for regulators, or do you think the reputation of crash games, because they're very often as a game type, you know, criticized for because they're so simplistic. It has been suggested they're easy to market to younger players, etc., etc. Do you think? And as a company that's just had this one game for 3 years, which is incredible. You know, have you experienced any negativity like that? Have you experienced any of the baggage that we're talking about?
No, actually. Maybe we got lucky.
I could just be talking out of my arse. That does happen.
Well, I suppose, Johnny, if you think about it, like a regulator's only looking at their thing, right?
Yeah, they're just does it fulfill this? Does it do what it says on the tin? Is the payout right?
You know, are the players in my jurisdiction following the rules that I've set? Yes. Then.
Yeah, I would say what they usually want you to follow the rules and to comply with what they want. You give them what they want, then they are happy. Usually there is no kind of a attitude toward that, or like you have a crash game. We won't like talk with you nicely. Like, no, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose Finton summed it up quite nicely. They're just looking at, does the maths work?
Mm.
Does this do what it's supposed to do? Okay, come on then.
Yeah, they
Off
usually
you go.
being pretty official, I would say, like kind of a following bureaucracy process, so like step-by-step guide.
Filling in the right forms in the right
Yes,
way at the
exactly.
right time. Yeah. Okay.
So what does because obviously, so what does the future look like for Crash games? Because in a world of AI tools, we could probably make a very bad version of a Crash game in an afternoon. Not saying it'd be any good or legal or anything like that, but the barriers to entry for software are now pretty low. So as all companies have to like, okay, how do we stay ahead of our competition? How do we keep innovating? And we just keep pushing the boundaries, so we're impossible to catch. Where do you see the trend of the games going over the next, say, 2 years? Because I'm assuming the people who like these games are younger and they're living in a world where everything's changing fast. They want more and more and more. They get bored really easily, and that kind of they're dopamine hungry.
Yeah.
How do you like? It's a very demanding customer base.
Exactly. So that's why what we are doing, we are always adding different gamifications and different features over there to entertain player. Because when I was what I was mentioning already, that we borrow the ideas from video games and implementing them in iGaming. And what we are doing right now, as I was saying, that we have just one game and we've been running on our flagman game. Right now, we are repositioning ourselves from a company that had just one game to iGaming metaverse, because we recently launched one more Crash game. It's pretty similar to what we had, but it's called Second Chance. And the whole idea is that randomly, after the plane got crashed, sorry guys, after the plane got crashed, the players randomly will be given the second chance, so the plane can proceed flying and the multiplier can proceed increasing. So that's the whole point. And what we are offering the market as well in May is the first slot game, and all that gonna be combined in iGaming metaverse. So you can have one player profile, and you can play in slot game, you can play in a classic Crash game, or you can play in a second chance game. You can get the experience points over there, then increase your chances of getting a higher reward during the day. So we give more opportunity to the players, exactly for them not to get bored.
So this is really interesting, because what it's doing is it's creating loyalty across a game studio's set of games.
Exactly.
Right? Are any of the traditional slots guys doing this, or is this unique to you?
This is pretty unique, because usually traditionally guys
one
just do
game
slots.
Yeah, because it's such a smart idea, because if the studio can help drive obviously more gameplay on their games, it's good for them, it's good for the customer, it's good for the operator. And when you say it, it's like, oh my God, why hasn't anybody done this before? This is such a smart idea. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so smart, because it just creates such loyalty to your game studio.
And also we can offer it to a wider audience.
Yeah.
So because usually slot guys, they do not often play the Crash games, so we wider the audience, we can offer more. All the bonuses work in all the games, so let's say player being credited some free bets, and he can choose where to use them. He can go to a Crash game, he can go to a slot game, and it makes it that you own the situation better. You have more variety.
Yeah, of course. I love it.
What are your main markets? Do you know? I mean, obviously you supply games to people, or games now to people. But where are you most sought after? Where are you most played?
We usually most played in Latin America, Turkey, Bangladesh, Egypt. I would say those crash games get very popular. They sometimes called traffic light game because it's very simple, it's very easy, it's very fast. So I know that people play in the traffic jams as well. Yes, India as well.
The traffic light game. Sorry.
It markets itself, really.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, really important question. When
Mhm.
you're playing the game, are you like I'm going to cash out at 1.2, or do you wait for the 100 multiplier or one of the big multipliers? What's your normal?
It depends on the mood, you know. Sometimes I can go all in, sometimes I can play carefully.
Okay.
I've often this is going to sound a bit stupid. Might be the first time I've said something stupid on this podcast. But I've often likened crash games to Mr. Bean.
Mm,
Bear with me here. Because
mhm.
Mr. Bean generally has no intelligible dialogue, very rarely has on-screen dialogue. So it's almost language agnostic, which is why Mr. Bean has been sold into every television market in the world. And there are very few programs that can do that. And the beauty of it is that the physical language of Mr. Bean is universal. And it's not segregating itself with language, because there isn't any. And so it's the simplicity that means that it can go everywhere. And with crash games, it's that simplicity that's like the genius of the category. Like, anybody can pick up a crash game, and in not even 10 seconds, you understand the process. You understand it, and it's not a simplistic mechanism, but it's a simplistic. It's not simplistic. It's a simple interface. It's a really easy interface. But when Finton was saying, like, what's the future for crash games? It's like you look at crash games and you think, it's so incredibly simple. There are surely only so many things you can do to something this simple and keep that universal appeal. You know what I mean? Because if you monkey with it too much, you're going to end up making something complicated, and you're not going to have that easy pickup and traffic light thing. So I do wonder, like, as a category, just how much, like, we might be looking at the shark of the gambling ecosystem here. And I don't mean that as in it eats loads of other things. I mean as in sharks have not evolved over many, many millions of years because they reached a point where they were perfect. And they just stayed perfect. Is the crash game perfection?
Wow. Deep.
Deep, yes. Deep thought.
I got Mr. Bean in there. I got sharks in there. I mean, what are we missing? Nothing, really. I feel like David Attenborough.
Yeah.
But older. Well, discuss it. Is it perfect or what?
Well, it's okay. So I completely get you can just sit down and start playing a crash game and you get it after one game round. Oh my God. Oh no. Right. And you're like, okay, I get it. Right.
You could call it the oh my God, oh no game.
Right. Because if you think of, like, if you sit down at like a multi-line slots and you click the button and everything spins and then there's like all these lines and combinations.
Seriously, I've got no idea what's going on in a slot.
It's impossible. Like, it takes so long for you to start seeing the patterns and understanding, oh, I've triggered a bonus round or whatever's going on. Like, so I think from that perspective, what the oh yes, oh no, looks like can obviously change. But from a dopamine perspective, then it's just like, well, it's faster, the jackpots are bigger, so it's just how do we make it bigger and stronger kind of
And
thing.
also, guys, over here you have the feeling of the control, that everything in your hands,
Yeah, you do have
that
control, don't
you
you?
control the game, and it's your personal win because you're that good.
Because
And
it feels
you
like a
play
game of
you
skill. Yeah, of
exactly
course.
that you push the button, and because you're so cool and you're amazing, you have this win.
That's
Everything because of you. And exactly talking about dopamine, it's additional
that's
one.
it. It is.
Because in slots, you got no clue what's going on. You just press the button. If you don't read the rules, or like if you never played, it will take you a while to understand. Oh, Jesus Christ, what are those lines? Why this is falling here? What is
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
scatter? Like, how can I trigger the bonus round? What to do? Like, what is going on? So there is like a lot of things going on and a lot of graphics and etc. But here you can kind of please yourself that it's me so cool. I'm
Yes.
amazing. Like I made this. I
No,
control
because
the
I
game. I
see.
press the button.
you're 100% right. Because if you think of a slot game, obviously in some countries it's not allowed, but you'll have like an auto spin button,
Yes,
right? So
exactly. So
it's
you just sit
you're just
and
not even
watch.
you're not even playing, right? You're just like
Yeah.
it's doing its thing, and where you're not doing that with an aviator type crash game type thing, right? There's no like this is it. Like you're fully invested in this game till something happens. Yeah, John, I think it is the shark of games.
Hmm.
I think you've nailed it.
I think it ticks so many boxes for the player.
If you launch a shark themed game, we would like royalties, please.
Okay.
Just getting that out there now.
Let's call it, instead of a crash game, a sync game.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I have
Possible.
posited the theory on this podcast before. Do crabs in the sea think that fish are flying?
You're going deep again.
He's done a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
This is a real 3 a.m. in the kitchen conversation.
Yes, exactly.
No drugs for
In the
decades,
kitchen of some
though.
stranger you met.
Yeah, we're best mates now for the next hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got, and I think there is room for a shark crash game in there, and maybe it needs some Gambling Files branding on it. Maybe, Fenton, you need to get onto those AI prompts.
Yeah, well, Claude's down, so I won't be doing much today. It's my productivity done for the afternoon.
Nor will the rest of the world, though. So that's something. Super. So, you said some of your key markets there, where some of your key players are. Because like there's obviously some good suppliers supplying this style of game. There's some really good product out there. I'm sure there's some shitty ones as well, but I don't know. How do you grow? Because you've said about the second chance game,
Yeah.
which is really, really interesting. But how do you grow? How do you expand into new markets? Like, because I've often wondered this about suppliers, because some products are quite ubiquitous. Some suppliers have literally thousands of game titles, and like you're going out there with one, now two.
Soon to be free.
I mean, you've trebled your library. But how on earth? Because you've got. I'm not saying that it's not quality, but like I say, so many suppliers out there are taking literally thousands of games in their catalog. You're taking 1, 2, 3 games. How the hell do you compete? Or at least argue to be taken on as well as the dude with thousands of games.
AAA production. We pay attention to details.
Yeah, but dude, everybody says that. Everybody isn't telling the truth.
But you know how it usually goes with the slot games. For instance, yes, other providers, they publish them every week, for instance. But until it's a hit game, then they have just those titles lying in a library, I would say, lying under their section. So we just concentrate on our single game. We keep adding the features. We keep entertaining the player. Keep offering customization and something, make it special for each operator. That's what we're trying to do.
Because I suppose the hard one is getting the first integration. So once you're integrated, it's easier to add more games. It's that first agreement or that first integration.
Yeah,
You know, you're in the queue, right? But I'm
exactly.
assuming because crash games are what everybody wants, you kind of, you know, well, we could integrate this crash game or another Leprechaun game. Let's prioritize the crash game because it's different and it's what people want.
It's a new type. There is not that many.
Yeah.
Okay, some time ago there was not that many crash games available. The graphics completely different. We have our own thing that this network tournament is a part of a game. It's not some additional feature on top of the game that we can like exclude someone. We can do something with that. Not really. It's a part of a game. Take it or leave it. Because we also faced. The thing that some operators, they just don't want this tournament. They don't want to, and or some there are some limitations or something. So they don't want to take the game, or they want to take the game but disable this tournament, and we cannot do it. That's the thing. There are like pros and cons. Yes, it makes us unique. It makes us different from others, but however, not suitable for completely everyone. So, we faced it. It happened.
But that's really clever because what it actually does is you're not degrading your user experience for the operator. So the focus, so the user loyalty, because if I play your game on any operator, I should have the same experience. If I'm used to the network jackpot, I should be getting it wherever I play. That's
exactly.
Really, because the easy thing to do is, this big operator doesn't want to, just turn it off, give them what they want.
Yeah, just turn it off and that's it. And let players do the simple bets and not to get the reward.
Yeah.
But that's a whole point.
And that damages your brand, right? That's your IP. Okay.
Yes, it's our feature, let's say, what differentiates us and what associates with us.
Smart, really smart. Wow.
What is you and I'm really sorry if I missed an earlier mention of this. I don't think I did.
It's fine.
You've got a third title coming.
Yeah, slot game.
Well, nobody's doing those.
No, yes, such a surprise for an industry. But as I said, we want to try, and we want to offer our audience more opportunities to play, more opportunities to use our tools over there, to when they have some free bets or anything, to choose where to play them in a slot game or in a crash game, keep their experience, increase the experience points, and keep getting the rewards. Also, not only in the crash game, but in the fruit game right now.
I don't know. I feel like there are some slot games out there. I think it's really interesting that's where you're broadening out to. I think that's really interesting. And it's
not only a slot game coming. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few more instant games in our portfolio during this year.
Instant.
Yeah, it's Plinko, Mines. So we are working on them.
Okay.
So soon to be released and offered to the market.
That's exciting, but I wonder if the shark is going to outlive them all.
You never know. You never know.
No, that's the thing.
Stay tuned.
But you genuinely don't know what people want from you until you put something in front of them.
Exactly.
As that wonderful quote from Henry Ford says, if I'd asked people what they wanted, they would have just said faster horses. Because, and I'm not saying that people lack imagination. It's just we don't always know what we want to play until we can play it, and then we know what we don't want to play, and we know what we do want to play because we're playing it or we're not.
So much of it's fashion and trend. Like if you take something like Plinko, there's a lot of like streamers making that super popular, and all of a sudden Plinko, which is a pretty basic game, is hot, right? Everyone wants to. It's the cool game to play.
It's a timeless one as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
a shark.
It's a shark. It's a shark. It's like poker.
Yeah, but the games that stick around are the sharks, because they reach that evolutionary simplicity.
Yep.
Like blackjack will always be around, and the only thing that's different between blackjack tables or casinos that offer blackjack, whether it's online or land-based, the only real differentiator is side bets. I mean, they're slight differences in odds, but they're very, very slight. Interesting. I think you should look at side bets on crash games. Now, I'm not even joking now, because there's a side bet on roulette which Kame developed, and it's really, really clever because they recognize that you've got a random number generator on the wheel, and you can actually use the wheel to generate a second random number. So you could use another element in the crash game to produce a second random number to produce a second element of play.
You're actually a little bit reading our minds, because one more feature that we're gonna offer to the player is to place even more bets. Right now you can place 2 bets simultaneously. We're gonna offer them more. You can place even more bets.
That's how you get the dopamine. There we go.
That's how you get the royalties. Guys, I'm afraid I'm going to have to wrap because I think I'm in the middle of becoming single. So Anastasia, thank you very, very much for joining us.
If people want to find Anastasia to talk about games and
you're always thinking about the guest, aren't you?
Where can people find you, Anastasia?
No, they can reach me on LinkedIn maybe. So if anyone wants to talk, please feel free.
Anastasia Rimskaya, Imskaya.
Yes.
At Aviatrix.
Yes.
And there will be a link to Anastasia's LinkedIn profile in the show notes. And if you want to sign up for their games, then tell them that we sent you, because there's nothing free. I just think it'd be funny. Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys, for having me. It's been a great chat. Amazing time.
If you've enjoyed this episode of the Gambling Files podcast, please find us on LinkedIn. Give us a big, juicy, succulent like. That nearly went wrong. You can find us under the name The Gambling Files Podcast. You can find us on Twitter under The Gambling Files. I think the handle is just @GamblingFiles. You can connect to myself, John Bruford, or Finton Costello, also on LinkedIn. We're also both on Twitter. And you can find all of our previous episodes at www.thegamblingfiles.com. If you enjoyed it, please share. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your colleagues, and we'll see you next time.